Okay. So the thing is, you've read my books, yes? And the thing
Yes.
is, what did you think about them?
Oh, I thought they were very compelling myself, and it really changed my
A
view
bit more, please. What is
of history.
compelling?
I'm
What did
sorry.
you? Was it when you say compelling, not compelling, um, be a bit more specific in an easier way.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
compelling could mean forceful.
yeah.
Tell
Well,
us.
no, for me because I'm somewhat familiar with flamenco, and that just kind of gave me a little bit of like a window to an alternate history, and then I already kind of suspected that our history was messed around with, but with your books, at least for me, really like put more clarity in my mind about, hey, these people have been, whoever they are, been lying to us, and they've really messed around with everything, so many things, So that's the kind of compelling thing I'm talking about here. So
Okay.
yes.
Yes. So the thing is, if anybody looks at um, the symbols for the New World Order, yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
from the top of your head, yes, symbolism is very important in things like religion, even in trademarks like what brand do you want? Do you want Givenchy, or do you want Yves Saint Laurent, YSL? Yeah, so the thing is, symbols, trademarks, things like this are very important. So
Mm-hmm.
now, what symbol would you say represents the New World Order? Would you think it's a square, or would you think it's a circle,
A
or would you
triangle.
think it's a triangle? What would you think?
I would say a
Why?
triangle
Why did you? What made you think this?
because of the all-seeing eye on the dollar bill, and then we see this all-seeing eye inside the triangle on everything, many things.
In many things, yes. I've sent you a copy of it as a reminder. Now, the
Mhm.
thing is, because many people, yes, have not really looked at the Kabbalah and many of the things, not just the Kabbalah, at Masonry, or things like let's see, Theosophy. That's
Mhm.
a great thing, or even Hinduism. Yes, many people have not had a look at these things, and the mathematics to do with symbolism within many of these religious systems. Many people don't have a clue. Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the thing is, for example, which number do you think stood out a lot with the New World Order and what they're doing, and with lies in history? Which number do you think stood out? That it stood out a mile away, that you couldn't hide this number. Which
For
number
I would
did
say
you notice?
33. 33 would be a pretty big one.
33 is something that's known, but
Okay.
which number is not known that stood out, that you would say is equally important or very important?
Uh, like a lower number. Let's see.
Any
Well,
number, think. 1, 10, 15, 22. Think.
uh, maybe 19. Could
Okay,
19?
yes, it is 90. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
so now the thing is, many people have had a look at the symbol of the dollar. It's in front of you right now, yes? And many
Yes.
people are saying that the New World Order has got something to do with the dollar and inverted triangles that forms the Star of David.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
You have heard those stories, yes?
Yes.
Or you haven't?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have
Like
you heard?
the inverted you mean like the Star of David and the number 6 and Star of David.
Markaba star, the Markaba,
Mm-hmm.
other things. Well, I'll send you an example of it. The thing is, two inverted triangles, or one inverted, or whatever you want to say. And then when we have a look at it, many people have shown it's to do with geography and pressure points. Even on the fake science that they give for the planet Mars and other planets, they show that 19 degrees is the pressure point on all these so-called round planets.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
they say that there's two triangles that form the Star of David.
Mhm.
Yes. And they say, what do you call it? You can join the points together on the US dollar. Yes, where the writing is. And many people point this out. You have heard those stories, yes? Or
Mhm.
no?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Here I'll show the two triangles separated. So now what many people don't know is they've not studied mathematics deeply, or when they were in school, they probably didn't pay attention. Many people found it boring. Yes, but there is a French mathematician. I think his name's Pascal. Yes, from I think from the 17th century. And the thing
Mhm.
is, Pascal does his stories of the triangle, mathematics and the triangle. Um, what do you call it? So Pascal made some theories. For example, this is very important. Um, I'll go through this with you, and you'll think, oh my God. At first, you'll think it's not important, but if you've read my books and been through my works, you'll think you'll start to realize it. For example, there was a gentleman by the name of, if he existed, but according to official history, called Florin Perrier de France. He was from France. And on September the 19th, 1648, he did one of the biggest mathematical experiments of the entire 17th century, for example.
Okay.
Yes. And the
Mhm.
thing is, Florin de Pierre and other people, yes, like Pascal, did a lot of scientific experiments. Yes. And the thing is, let me see about Florin de Pierre, um, if I could find the information online, because I don't want to say it from the top of my head, or Perrier. Yes, or people will say I made this up. I normally prefer to give evidence. Yes, Florin Perrier. Let's see, is this information available? Because it's in French online. So the thing is, it's a bit difficult. Florin de Pierre. Well, he did many experiments in science. Yes, and the thing is, he did many experiments, but there was a particular experiment, but unfortunately, I've not found it. I've got to find it in French. So because I don't want to waste time, I'll move forward. Unfortunately,
Okay.
you'll have to look yourself about Florin de Pierre and some other things. But anyway, they say that he did his experiments on September the 19th, which is very important. It's an important day because, based on our current calendar, the shortest day of the year, yes, the way they designed the calendar was no accident. The shortest day of the year on the northern hemisphere, and is around, it starts on at noon on September the 18th, and then it goes on to September the 19th the next day. Yes, did you know this?
No, I did not know. This so short. That's the shortest day. From September 18th to September 19th.
Like this. Yeah, I found some information about Monsieur de Pascal. Yes, so what Monsieur de Pascal did in France, yes, the information is very suspicious. That you can tell it's just fake, fraudulent history. It's been invented, but he was one of the greatest mathematicians of the time, and he was born in France on June. What date was he born on?
19th, June 19th, 1623.
Yes. Yes, I will take your word for it. I believe that you've read it, that I will not ask you to check by wearing your glasses. But anyway, Pascal, what Pascal did, he created a measurement system. He was one of the greatest scientists of the time. And the unit of measurement that measures the atmosphere, yes, is called the Pascal unit. Yes, so Pascal was a great man. Yes,
Mhm.
so the thing is, around that time, let me see if I can find more of the information, but for some reason I can't find it. Unfortunately, yeah, it's very unfortunate. I cannot find the information. But let me see Pascal's triangle. Let's see if I can find it. Um, Ah, so what Pascal did is that he did what do you call it? He did many scientific experiments, and the thing is, he did um, the properties definition and many things to do with the triangle and the triangle on the American dollar. Yes, and he was in the same century of that Pierre Florin. I forgot the connection. People can do some research themselves. But anyway, Pascal's triangle, went through the number theory. Yes, and the thing is, what we can find from Pascal's triangle is, when we look at the Star of David, yes, you join together two triangles. And then the thing is, when you have one of the triangles, when you put the numbers down together of the points that you're, the points on a triangle with the
Hmm.
odd numbers, and what numbers do you get?
Let's see, the triangular arrangement of numbers that give the coefficients in the expansion of any binominal expression. The
Next
numbers are
page
so
is the main
arranged.
one. Look at the triangle itself. The next
Uh,
page is the main one.
uh, I don't see. Is there? Oh, okay. Actually, you sent it. Okay, 1 second. Yes. So we have a triangle with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, and 19.
It's the odd numbers.
Yes.
So this is when you form a simple basic triangle which has a center.
Mm-hmm.
The first triangle with a center. Yes, because if you do the first triangle is 135, there is no center with the center number.
Right.
Then the next one is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and
Right.
there is still no central number. Then the
Yep.
first one with the center, where you could put the eye inside, yes, and then you could do another triangle and do it upside down. It needs 19 numbers.
Yep.
You
Yep.
see. Are
Yeah.
you beginning to see? So this is something in mathematics. It's a bit deep. Yes, but the thing is, these triangular things have been used for construction and many other things. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's to do with the occult and many other things. Pascal's triangle. He did many other different things to explain the theories. But Pascal, he was born on the 19th in
Mm-hmm.
that century. But Pascal died. Let's say tell the audience some information about Monsieur de Pascal. What date did he die, Monsieur?
Let's see. He passed away on the 19th August, 1662. He was 39 years of
Excuse
age.
me. I thought you said he died. He was born on the 19th?
Yep, that's what I
Yes.
remember.
So did he die on what date?
The 19th of August.
Ah, hmm. Sounds like believable history. Yes. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, let's have a look at Monsieur de Pascal. What was his greatest inspiration or something, one of the greatest things to affect his life? Yeah, so Monsieur de Pascal will say that there is a book called the Psalms or the Psalms, yes, in the Bible. And yeah, there was a chapter, 100 and something, I forgot. You can read it out. Chapter 100 and what? Psalm was something that influenced his life or which was a major part of his life.
Uh, let's see. Psalm
Psalm 100
119.
and
Blaise
100 and
Pascal's
what?
119.
And what's that, 120?
119.
19, did you say?
I did.
Ah,
Yes.
okay, no problem. Okay, Psalm 119. Yes. Well, anyway, I just found it. So, like the shortest days in the year, in case some people want to see it themselves. Yes, I'm not sure how they calculated it, but according to scientists, yes, is generally around from high noon, September the 18th to September the 19th, or the day that Pascal was born.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this Pascal did these things. Yes, and another strange thing. is that what do you call it? Yes, because recently I did many videos and we spoke about this religion called Islam and the Muslims. Yes,
Mhm.
what is very strange is that the current people who they call Muslims, yes, up until the 1950s or 1960s, they
Mhm.
were not even called Muslims. Do you know this?
No, I did not.
I mean, it's like, for example, it's like, Hong Kong was called Hong Kongers, but now, officially the name has changed. They're called Chinese, and Hong Kong is a city in China.
Mhm.
Yes, it
Mhm.
wasn't before
Right.
1997. So, names change. Like, for example, in Manchuria in the north, they were called Manchurians, but today they're called Chinese from Dongbei province. Yes,
Mhm. Mhm.
Dongbei. Yes. So, and many people there will say they're either Chinese or many people will say, oh, we're Koreans. Yes,
Right.
over there. But, so the thing is, names change. But this is very important. Yes, what do you
Absolutely.
call it? Yeah, yeah. There are some people who claim that evolution is an Islamic theory, but the point that I'm sending here is that it should be noted that what do you call it? Yes, um, that what do you call it? Um, they were called Mohammedans. Yes,
Mhm.
until the
Mhm.
1960s. You can't seem to find these people who they call the current Muslims. Yes, that they were not even called. Muslims. They were
Mhm.
known as Mohammedans. So who were the Muslims before the 1950s and the 1960s? Are they the same people or somebody else that we can even find documents, from the 1930s, 1940s? Like, for example, here is documents from, the British Foreign Office and things like this that the people in the Middle East, many of them were called Mohammedans. They were not referred to as Muslims
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
many cases. What do you think is going on? This is
Well,
very important information.
it's
It's because
yeah.
this is very important. It's because it raises the question: Who were the Muslims
Mhm. Mhm.
before the 1950s? Who were the Muslims of the 19th century, 18th century, 17th century? Like here, yes, it's well known. Up until you can read it yourself.
Let's see. Wikipedia. Until the least of the mid 1960s, many English language writers used the term Mohammedans for Mahometans. Mahometans?
Yeah, Mahomet is French. Mahomet, and in Gematria, Mahomet is 73. And Muhammad is in Gematria is 74. They're playing around with the
Mm.
spelling of words, much
Mhm.
Gematria. But this is very important because now the question is, who were the Muslims? Yes.
Yeah.
Who were, who were the Muslims? Because it's strange, yes, that
Mhm.
what do you call it? Yes, Muslim. Even in India, they say the word Musulman. And the thing is, in Germany, Poland, Eastern Europe, and Northern Europe, yes, in the 19th century, 18th century, 17th century, all the way even in the Second World War and after it, and
Mhm.
even the people who were in the Holocaust and in many other concentration camps and going through all sort of suffering, they were known as Muslim men.
Mhm.
Um, have you received it?
Yes. Yes. Let me put it up. One second. Let's see. Yes. Muselmen, German plural, Muselmana.
Muslim man. Yes,
Yes.
you are in India right now. Just to ask somebody and stop a Muslim person and turn around and ask them and say, are you a Hindu or are you a Muslim? And
Mhm.
just ask the Indian people, and they will say, he's a Muslim man. Yes, a
Mhm.
different
Mhm.
pronunciation. So this
Mhm.
is the German pronunciation, or for example, in Russia or Ruski, they will say Muslimani,
Mhm.
Muslimani, with
Mhm.
an
Mhm.
Li. So
Mhm.
there's accents and pronunciations. Yeah.
Yep.
So when I mentioned and said original Muslims and even the Quran itself says, it says that the followers of Moses and the followers of Abraham and
Mm.
Jesus Christ were known as Muslims.
Mhm.
It means that if the current Muslims were called Mohammedans, until recently they were called Muslims, it means that they are not the Muslims that history talks about when it talks about the Crusades that took place in Vienna against Muslims that were fighting in Germany and in Austria, Eastern Europe, and things like this. Do you see?
Mhm.
It totally changes the history and the definition of what is a Muslim. You
Mhm.
see?
Mhm. Mhm.
It's very important
Yeah,
because we
absolutely.
see two different words. Yes, it's like two different words in two different groups. Then we have the Sunni Muslims. Who are they? What are they? How were they formed? And things like this. But
Mhm.
anyway, let's have a look at India and
Mhm.
all these other places. Yeah. So the thing is, many people, like you mentioned, the number 33. Yes. So I'm writing a new book right now. It should be out within a few weeks. Yes.
Mhm.
And I'll just go through some basics of 33. Many people are obsessed with this number, or
Mhm.
they've noticed it everywhere. Yes. So the
Mhm.
thing is, here is the number 33. Yes. And the thing is, if people read my book, Secrets of the Kabbalah, it goes into detail what is the meaning of 19 and 33.
Mhm.
It goes into the meaning of it, and the new book, 33rd Degree, goes into the 33 more deeper. The book Secrets of Kabbalah, for example, yes, yeah, will show something to do with the cube, which is very important. Yes, the thing is in the flower of life,
Mhm.
of creation and the flower of life. Let me just find the flower of life and send you an example to show what the flower of life is. The flower of life, three-dimensionally, actually forms a cube, but you
Mhm.
need like 33 circles. Yes,
Mhm.
you've
Mhm.
read this in my books, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like many people are unaware of this, and this is very important because many people talk about 33 degrees or the 33 nights of Malta and things like this. There's many things people talk about. Like, for
Mhm.
example, looking at this diagram, the first picture shows the flower of life, and the flower of life has got 19 flowers and
Mhm.
three-dimensionally. Yes, if
Yep.
you turn this alive and
Mhm.
it forms the shape of a cube. Can you see
Mhm.
the cube in
Yep.
that red color three-dimensionally?
Yep.
Yes, so the thing is, three-dimensionally, if you put the balls together and combine them, it forms a cube. Yes,
Mhm. Mhm.
and this is a very important symbol. And symbols are very important in things like masonry and in religions. And many people actually, symbols brainwash people.
Mhm.
Symbols, mathematics brainwash people. That's why
Mhm.
when you go to a shop and think, if there's different drinks, even though sometimes you walk into a shop and you think maybe I'll buy this or that, but because you're so used to Pepsi or Aquafina or let's say Seven Up, you'll think I got used to the symbol and the brand. So you'll just naturally and automatically buy it and pick it up because you've been brainwashed.
Mhm.
So let me show from the flower of life. That's the cube. Yes, I've sent another idea to show the
Mhm.
representation of the cube.
Mhm.
Now, this is very important that you need 19 to actually form the cube, to form the 33rd degree. Yes, many people don't realize how important this is. Yes, that without this 19, you basically won't get to the 33rd degree. To get to the 33rd degree, you have to start with 19. And
Mhm.
then when you arrive at the 33rd degree, you become 19. It's a bit difficult to explain here, but the thing is, people can read it in my book.
Yep.
Yes, that's
Yep.
all I can say. Well,
Yep.
anyway, now let's look at for example, these secret societies like there's Masonry, then there's the Theosophical Society. They've got many lodges. Some people call them Masonic lodges. It's up to you what you want to call them. Yes, but they're connected. Yes. So now the Theosophical Society, it's very big in India, and they've
Hmm.
set up their headquarters there. Um, um, what date did they set up their headquarters? They set it up in Adyar, yes, in the 19th century. What's the official date they set up their headquarters?
Let's see here. Sowing the seeds of freedom. It says Adwar from December 19th, 1882.
What date in December? Can you just say that again? I didn't hear it very well. I seem to be
19th.
imagining.
19th.
Are you sure?
Yes, as sure as I can be.
Yes. So now that you know what 19 is in symbolism, is 19 the 31st degree or the 33rd degree?
33rd degree.
Yes, because you need 33 of them. And the 33, does that form a square or does it a cube or a rectangle?
A cube.
A cube. Yes, this is very important. So the thing is, for example, their main operation places were in London, in Europe, in India, um, in Australia, the United States, and Canada when they first set up. So when they set up in London, this was like their mega main headquarters. So the Blavatsky Lodge, named after Madame Blavatsky for the Theosophical Society, yes, the Blavatsky Lodge was the main one. They did have other lodges, but it's the one that was famous for Madame Blavatsky. And what date did they found this lodge in London? Um,
M-
can you
May
please tell me?
19th, 1887.
Wait a minute, you said it was the 19th for the war when they set up their headquarters in India. So this Blavatsky Lodge, the main one, yes. What date? May the what?
May the 19th.
Hmm. Are you beginning to see a pattern here or not yet?
There seems to be a pattern that is emerging here.
Okay. Okay, so let's go further. Yes.
Hmm.
So when they opened up, yes, because what many people don't know is that Masonic lodges and Theosophical lodges and other Rosicrucian lodges and other things, um, they are not so big as people imagine, like great organizations. They are registered or chartered. So, for example, yes, the British section of the Theosophical Society, yes, when was it officially chartered or registered in England?
Uh, well, let's see. President founder formally chartered the British section on October the 19th of 1889.
Sorry to interrupt you again. Yes, but I'm sure you said it was 19th for when the Blavatsky Lodge opened and 19th for when their headquarters in India opened. But what's the date again? Can you just check it, please?
October 19th.
Ah, are you beginning to see the pattern yet or not yet?
Yeah, and then it says it took 0.919 seconds to find this result. There's about two results, and then it took 0.19 seconds.
Ah,
So,
wait till you see the next one. So that took 0.19. And 0.19, when you have two triangles, is 0.38. So the next one. So now, the Theosophical Society was founded in New York. How many
mhm.
people founded this society? Can you please tell me when they found it in 17th of November? How many people founded this society?
17 November
Created it.
1875 by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, Colonel
How
Henry
many
Steele,
people?
Allah, Henry,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. 16 others. And 16 others. So you have Blavatsky, and then Colonel Henry Steele, William Kwan Judge, and 16 others. So that would make 19 total.
Are you sure?
I
Let
believe
me
so.
use my brain. I'm going a bit slow today. there was Madame Blavatsky, and then
Yes.
there was Alcott, and then there was Judge. That's
Yes.
3 people. And how many others?
And 16 others.
And 16 at 3. My brain's a bit slow today. How many people does that make it?
16 plus 3 makes 19.
So 19 people founded the Theosophical Society?
That's what it
Ah,
says.
are you beginning to see the suspicious here now? The suspicions? Or not yet?
Yeah,
Of
and then
course, maybe you're not satisfied. Don't worry. By the way, the Theosophical Society is very connected to Hinduism.
mhm,
Yes,
they
everybody
sure
knows
are.
this. Yes,
Yes. Yep.
yes. And the thing is, they're connected, they're linked, and the thing is, they had the same support, same like many Hindu organizations got their support from the British at the time. And everyone knows Madame Blavatsky was connected to Aleister Crowley, the devil worshipper. Have you heard of him?
Yep. Yep. Aleister Crowley.
Aleister Crowley.
Yep.
Yes. So Aleister Crowley is a famous man. Yes. For writing about magic and all this garbage that we're told and devil worship and everything. Um, you know, let's have a look at him. He lived around the same time, or as Madame Blavatsky. Yes. So and they're connected. So how many works did he create about magic?
It says 19 works on magic. 19.
Um, you know what? You keep saying 19 to me. I'm getting a bit pissed off here now. Do you wear glasses by any chance?
No, I do not wear glasses, but maybe I should get one.
Yes, maybe. Yes. Are you sure it says 19? Doesn't it say 20 sometimes? Don't you think so?
No, it says 19 right there.
Oh, I see. So, are you not beginning to see that this is a little suspicious?
Very much.
So now there is Aleister Crowley, and they talk about John Dee and his magic to do with Enoch or the Book of Enoch or the Enochian keys.
Hmm.
Yes, and
Hmm.
for this magic, is how many to do it with your magicians, devil worshipping magicians. How many keys do you need,
19
or how many
keys.
keys? Excuse me, please, please. Yes, I thought there was 19 works on magic by Aleister Crowley, but how many keys do we need?
19. 19 keys.
Okay, just in case it's because maybe I can't read anymore. Maybe I've gone crazy. I keep hearing the number 19 from you. So let's have a look at other sources. Yes,
Hmm.
and for
Hmm.
this magic, yes, that Aleister Crowley mentioned that's to do with the Enochian keys. Here it is again from other websites. People can check themselves. How many keys is it? Once
19
again,
keys. Or
are you
calls for
sure?
conjuring purposes. Yes, 19 keys or calls for conjuring
Conjuring means,
purposes.
to do devil worshipping and to do magic and black magic and everything. Yes. So let's have a look at, the works of Enoch. Everyone's heard of the Book of Enoch, and
Hmm.
people say it's connected to science and things like this. So Enochian magic, it's called, from the times of the Renaissance. How many angelic keys are there in Enochian magic?
There are a total of 19 angelical keys in
Are
Enochian magic.
you sure? We saw them 19 before.
Yeah, 9 and a teen. 19.
So now let's see the main founder of the Theosophical Society was
Hmm.
Madame Blavatsky. I've always loved her name, Madame, and then Blavatsky from Eastern Europe.
Hmm.
Yeah, sounds like a fake character. So yes, what she did was she promoted, you know, the three fundamental laws of Enochian magic, which are based on how many keys did you say?
19.
Ah, ah I see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember that number. Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, so the thing is, so now Madame Blavatsky was promoting Hinduism, and Theosophy is based a lot on Hinduism. So now they're telling us that there's 19 keys, yes, for devil worship and for magic. Yes, and Blavatsky calls this the secret doctrine, yes, of the lodges. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and with these secrets, you have the secret of the universe and you understand everything.
Mm-hmm.
You see, abracadabra, magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the Theosophical Society, what do they promote, and what was Blavatsky teaching about the death of the body? And you can call it your soul or your spirit or your astral body. Which part of your body survives? That she says herself. What was she
Let's
teaching
see.
people?
Let's see. Blavatsky taught
What's
that
the
on
name?
the death of the body, the astral body survives for a time in a state called Kamaloka, the
Okay,
astral
but the
body.
main thing is, she uses the astral body, which is the word that is used in translations from Hinduism. And Blavatsky's theosophy was based on which religion? Her
Hinduism.
lodges were teaching things. Hinduism? Ah, okay. So to understand, we've understood the magic that Blavatsky was talking about. So now to understand um, what do you call it, Blavatsky's astral soul, or your
Mm-hmm.
astral body, which is going to survive. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look at Hinduism itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's have a look at the because we're looking at things like Pascal from the 17th century, 16th century Renaissance. We're looking at different time periods. Madame Blavatsky in the 20th century, the Hindu Vedas, they say are on palm leaves up to 300 years old, and they say we could trace them back to 1,000 years. So now we're looking at things from 700 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, 300 years ago. Blavatsky's in the 20th century. Yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yes, and it would be ridiculous if we found the number 19 repeatedly in some of these major stories. Wouldn't you agree?
I would. I would agree if we found the number 19 repeatedly in these other cultures and religions.
In all these stories, it would sound ridiculous. So now Madame Blavatsky talks about the astral soul. Now let's have a look at the astral soul, and let me just find it and send it to you. What Hinduism, because she bases her theosophy on Hinduism and from Hinduism. Yes, and she
Hmm.
quotes it from Hinduism. Right. You'll have to pause the recording here.
Okay, David, are you back with us?
Yes. So now, as you can see in the Theosophical Society, yes,
Mm-hmm.
Madame Blavatsky is promoting Hinduism, and she
Mm-hmm.
says she talks about, the astral body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we look at the Upanishads and the way Hinduism interprets the Upanishads, what they talk about is 19 entrances into your body. I'm using easy words and
Mm-hmm.
which would touch your soul or your astral body. Yes? And this,
Mm-hmm.
you can read it yourself in the easy words instead of the difficult words. Here is a bit easier from the
Mm-hmm.
Hindu online journal. The soul migrates with.
The astral body, the Sukshmna Sarira or Linga Delha, this astral body is made up of 19 tattvas or principles, five organs of action, five
Wait,
organs of
wait a
knowledge.
minute. Let's just wait a minute. I'm getting confused here. Did you just say that this theosophical societies, their lodges, there were hundreds of them, when they formed? Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
before World War I, hundreds of them. They had thousands of members, and many thousands of people were influenced by them. Yes.
Yep.
not just by Hinduism too. So you're trying to tell me that when your soul leaves your body when you die, yeah, that's called the astral body in simple English terms. And this astral body is made up of 19 different parts. Are you trying to say? Did you say 19 again?
Yes. Yes, sir. 19. 19 tattvas.
Excuse excuse me. Yeah, wait a minute. So you're telling me that what's her name? Madame Blavatsky, yes, she formed this theosophical societies and their lodges, and many people say they had secret things, and they formed it with how many people were there that formed the Theosophical Society?
19. 19 people formed it.
Oh. And then they opened up their headquarters in India. On which day did you say? Was it the 15th or the 19th again?
The 19th.
And the Blavatsky Lodge in London, it opened up on which day was it? 16th or was it this, what date was it?
19th. 19th again.
And they registered and chartered their organization, their lodges in England. On what date?
On the 19th.
Now they're telling us for the salvation of your soul, you have to like protect how many parts is there in your soul that's going to migrate so that you can have God consciousness or unite with God according to Hinduism itself. By the way, this is in the Upanishads. How many parts is there
Nine,
which make up your astral body? Did you say?
19.
Oh, excuse me. Please, please, please. Okay, I'm getting used to this now. And before, we didn't find it, but you could bring it up on the screen about Pascal and
Yep.
Florine Perrier. Yes, that his atmospheric pressure experiment. Have you
Yep.
received the page?
Yes, I have it right in front of
Uh,
me here.
yeah, it was the greatest experiment of the 17th century. And Pascal was born on what number date was it?
It was the
It was
19th.
on which date?
The
He died
19th.
on what date?
He died on the
And
19th
the
as well.
greatest experiment of yeah, and the greatest experiment of the century that Pascal did was on which day?
Yes, Peau de Dome Experiment Hall 1970 refers to a 19th September 1648 test in which Florent Perrier, brother-in-law
Ah,
of
and from
Blaise
there we have
Pascal.
the Pascal unit. Yes,
Yes.
and then from the mathematics of the triangle, so that you could form the Star of David and all these things. How many points were there on that triangle when you put the odd numbers together, so that you will have a central number for the eye? How many numbers were there?
Well, yeah, there are odd numbers that went up to 19.
Ah, that's a little strange. This
Mhm.
19 is beginning to get on my damn nerves. Yes, but as you can see, there is something wrong.
Mhm.
Yes. Now,
Mhm.
if you are going to go so deep into creating this history and doing all these things, if you are going to do all these things, and you're going to be using this number, it means that something is wrong.
Mhm. Mhm.
Something is wrong, and there is something suspicious that they don't want you to know or understand. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is something seriously wrong. Yeah, something seriously wrong. And the thing is, I've mentioned it in my books. This is nothing to do with religion. I'm talking about the Hindu religion here. I'm
Mhm.
talking about the theosophy. It's a religion. Yes, I'm talking about lodges and Masonic lodges and other things. It's suspicious that they're using 19, which is the 33rd degree, and many things. Of course, this is more deeper than many people can imagine, and so of course a video can't explain it. And the thing is, my books go into detail about it, and one of my many of my books go into detail about it, and uh, like a mega explanation about the number 19 and why these people use 19. There is a reason why. Yes,
Mhm.
it is explained in my book Secrets of Kabbalah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
um, I'm sending you the cover. It's a bit expensive, but if people want, they can spend hours reading all the Vedas or studying the Theosophical Society, buying Masonic books and other things. Or I've just done a simple summary in that book to explain what this 19, which is the 33rd degree, to explain it. And then I'm writing another book. It's not finished right now. It's about the it's about the 33rd degree itself and the symbol of the cube. Yes,
Mhm.
that it forms a cube, which is a very serious thing. Why does it form? Well, it naturally forms a cube, but why are these people using it? Yes.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
the thing is, I've got the Mandukya Upanishad before me. I've got it in case somebody will say, which Vedas is it in? I didn't find it, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, it's here and yeah, this is one person's English translation. It's up to the people how they, here they've translated it as 19 mouths of your body or entry points into your body. So people translated it in different ways. Mandukya Upanishad, verse 3, chapter 1, Agama Prakarana scripture. Yes,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
and the thing is, and they say this is very, very important. It's like the heart of Hinduism. Yes,
Mhm.
for you to actually like move forward or reincarnate or not reincarnate into a lower group or something to move forward. It's like you've got to, pass the test of the 19, basically. You
Mhm.
don't pass the test of 19, you failed. That's it. You're coming back as a, God knows, as a Beetlejuice or whatever, you see? Or a lowercase or something like this, you see? Or
Mhm.
a lower type of animal that you're being born into a sinful or evil womb, yeah, if you fail this 19. So this is like the main thing in Hinduism. Yes, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Upanishads is part of the Vedas for sure.
I'm not talking about the books or the just that, but I'm talking about the actual thing, the main part in Hinduism, whereby you would say nirvana, or if some people want to call it samsara in Western circles. The thing is, if you fail this 19, what happens to you is you could read it at the bottom. Those whose conduct, the conduct is these 19 entry points, if they've
Mhm.
entered bad things into their 19 parts of their astral body or soul, what
Mhm.
happens to them? What
Uh,
happens? The last paragraph.
One second. Let's see.
Those who,
Uh, the last paragraph here. Those who conduct
yeah,
has
those who,
been good attained, good births, and those who conduct has been evil are thrown into sinful wombs or lower births.
yes. So the 19 parts of your body, like one of them, I'm just giving a description here. One of them could be the sense of evil, that you want to satisfy your evil pleasures. You're a psycho killer and you murdered a million people or something. So then you're going to be born. You failed the test of the 19 parts. So
Mhm.
you're going to be born into the lowest ever birth or in a sinful womb that you could come back just as, you know, uh, just as some type of, bug or something, and then people are just squashing you everywhere for the next million lives. You see?
Mhm. Mhm.
So the thing
Mhm.
is, how important is this 19 in Hinduism? The 19 tattvas or this
Very important.
19 things.
Yep.
How important? If you fail this 19, haven't you failed Hinduism?
Yeah, you're gonna find yourself in a very
That's it, you
bad
failed.
situation.
Yes. Yes, you failed. Yes.
Yep.
So the thing is, many people don't seem to take these things seriously. But the thing is, it's a serious thing. Where did they get this idea from? Did they write it, or is it the people who are putting this 19 everywhere? If it's by the people who are putting 19 everywhere, who are these people, and why are they doing this? Yes, that is something, I can't explain it in a few minutes. It's a very deep subject. Like people will have to read my books, especially especially that book to understand it. What the 19 is about to these people and who they think they are. Yes,
Mhm.
and that's in my book. Called Secrets of the Kabbalah. Yes. And
Mhm.
the thing is to understand the background to this. I've got 20 other books. People can read them, but the Secrets of the Kabbalah basically gets down to the nitty gritty and it explains why they are doing this. Yes. Why
Mhm.
have they got millions of people? Yes. It's not a joke. There's millions of people in India who take this 19 thing seriously and they're thinking of how to protect the 19th century things by meditation, by focusing on symbols with their eyes, um, and things like this. Even doing the small things like wearing the bindu on their head, thinking that maybe this will help. Yes,
Mhm.
and things like
Mhm.
this, or wearing a charm or a necklace. People are spending money, or even just attending pujas regularly, or paying homage to murtis. They're doing this. This is not a joke. It's costing them money, time, effort, that they take this so seriously. Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes. So the thing is, we have to turn around and think who put these ideas there. I'll go to more about that if we have time later. But
Mhm.
let's go back to, Madame Blavatsky. So
Mhm.
Madame Blavatsky is telling us, yes, that you have got to to be successful based on Hinduism, that you have got to, protect this astral body. Yes,
Mhm.
from the Vedas. So now this astral body has got 19 parts. You will find this actually in the what do you call it, Theosophical Society magazines.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes. Um, so now let's see. So the Book of Enoch and the Charts of Magic by John Dee from the Renaissance. Now we're going to the Renaissance. I forgot if this is 16th or 17th century. Yes, and then he showed how to do magic spells and things like this. And John Dee claimed it was the secret language of angels. And according to John Dee, yes, how many keys or how
19
many
keys.
magic spells? 19 keys of magic spells? Damn, you said that fast even before I finished. Well, anyway, so let's have a look at Madame Blavatsky's notebooks. She wrote notebooks, yes. And
Mhm.
of course, people are interested in them because then they can learn the secrets of Hinduism, the occult, and Masonry and other things. So the thing is, you know, um, to 1884 when yes people when people noticed these scrapbooks, the thing is, there were cuttings from newspapers and other things, and it had what do you call it, it had plans for their orders for their masters, notice, things like this and many other things. And how many scrapbooks did they have, um, or did she have?
Let's see. It says there are 19 of these scrap books.
What? Oh God. Well, let's have a look at these scrapbooks. Yes. And the thing is, what you will find, yes, that if you join the points together of the Star of David, you will need the triangle with the 19 odd numbers. By the way, many people don't know this, but this is in my books. But here is an example of her notes from one of these 19 scrap books. And as you
Mhm.
can see, it's got that triangle there that's based on the 19 with the Star of David in the center and many other things. Yes, I've been through her works and many things. Many people haven't gone through them. So the thing is, many people like to study the early history of before 1925 of the Theosophical Society and their lodges. Yes. So it's if anybody wants to find the 19 scrapbooks, they can find it somewhere through the history of I think it is the Golden Book of the Theosophical Society or something. I've forgotten. Yes, the Golden Book, and from there, I think it's free to download over there. that people
Mhm.
can read through many of these things to understand these things. But the 19, many people won't understand it. To understand that, and because these people write in secrets and codes, that's what they've done in diagrams that nobody's going to understand. Yes, so the thing is, I put it in my book, Secrets of the Kabbalah. So
Mhm.
now, for example, there was 19 people. Oh, they are telling us 19 people founded the Theosophical Society. Yes,
Mhm.
that's what they tell us. Yes, of course. Yes, if anybody understands, has read all my books, like for example, there's some important books for the background to show the 19. Let me just recommend um, some, and then people will know which books are pretty good to understand the background. Just to see how crazy this 19 is. Like Neil Armstrong arrived on the moon on the 19th, and he sets foot on the 20th. That's what they're telling us. And things like this, you could find it in my book. Ancient Greece did not exist. Um, Even the Hitler story. Hitler came to power. Um, he became the pharaoh or the Führer, according to historians. They
Mhm.
tell you that Hitler came to power on the
Mhm.
19th.
Mhm.
What is this actually true, or have they falsified the history? This is in my book, Nazi Germany. Oh, they also tell us that Napoleon came to power. All these stories, if anybody wants to read the books, yes,
Yeah.
what do you call it? It's just a big joke. I wrote my book, Napoleon Did Not Exist. They say he came to power. He a coup d'etat on the 18th of Brumaire, and on the 19th of Brumaire, he took power. These are the background books. They just show all the 19th, but to understand the actual secret and the meaning of it, it cost me thousands to
Mhm.
actually
Mhm.
understand this, by the way.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
is why the Secrets of the Kabbalah is more expensive than all the other books, by
Mhm.
the way. Yes, all the other books are normal price. So the Secrets of the Kabbalah explains why the 19th. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's have a look at Blavatsky and India and all these other things, and you're going to think, oh my God. So Blavatsky founded the Theosophical Society with how many people, did you say?
19.
Um, there was 19 people. So one of these people, his name was Rudolf Steiner.
Mm.
Yes, Rudolf Steiner was one of the co-founders.
Mhm.
Yes, and
Mhm.
then he separated from the Theosophical Society.
Mhm.
Yes, and
Mhm.
college. Yes, yeah, and in Europe he set up his own society in Germany.
Mhm.
Yes, so that's what they tell us Rudolf Steiner did. Yes, and what do you call it? Yes, and they tell us he became very famous in the philosophical movement in continental Europe, etc.
Mhm.
This is what they tell us. They're going to show us photographs, and people are going to think these people are real. That's what everybody thinks. But if anybody understands my books and reads through them, soon they're going to realize many of these photographs from the 19th century and early 20th century are just actors, they're fake. So they're
Mhm.
showing us he was a great philosopher. He did the works like The Philosophy of Freedom, blah, blah, blah. This guy's so cool, man. Yeah. So that's what people are going to think. Yeah. So let's have a look at Rudolf Steiner. So he took over, he became the leader of the German section of the Theosophical movement. He separated from them. So it's a big thing. It's like, can you imagine if China breaks into two or America breaks into two? People will talk about it like North and South Korea. So the
Mhm.
Theosophical Society is breaking up. So now, what do you call it? Yes, he becomes the Secretary General or the leader of the German section of the Theosophical Society on which date?
Let's see. Including it says beginning of the 20th century. Is this one or the next one? Let's see. 19th October 1902.
Are you sure?
Yep, 19th
Rudolf
October
Steiner,
1902.
19? Are you beginning to see? Do you even think this history is true?
No, I do not.
Now you're beginning to see. So now, Rudolf Steiner, yes, they do the collected works of Rudolf Steiner, of his early works. They're saying he wrote philosophical works. They're claiming it's him. But if anybody understands what I'm showing in history, It shows
Mhm.
that this man didn't exist. They've used an actor,
Mhm.
and they've used a real person as an actor, and then his family will think that he even wrote the books and everything. But anyway, yes, his early works, yes, that he wrote, are famous, and what do you call it? And so the collected works of the Theosophical Society published,
Mhm.
and what do you call it? How many were there notes from how many early lectures?
Notes from 19 of these early lectures and 4 private lessons form content of his volume.
Their private
19.
lessons, they're separate.
Yeah.
Those are private lessons. I'm talking about lectures. So,
Yep.
how many lectures did they
19.
publish in volume 19?
Yep.
Ah, aren't you beginning to see that they're absolutely obsessed with this?
Yes. Keeps popping up.
Yes.
19,
So,
19, 19.
those are the early days. So when Rudolf Steiner is old and he's gonna die soon, they're saying. So in his old days, yes, when he's running out of time, yes, what they're telling us. Um, how many lessons was he able to give? Um, how many lessons or classes was he able to do before his death?
Well, let's see. Was only able to give 19 lessons.
Ah, can you can you smell it by now? That it's just totally ridiculous. Yes? So
Mhm.
now, by the way, let's look through some of Rudolf Steiner's history that these theosophical websites are giving out in continental Europe. Because we talked about Blavatsky in India. So now we're talking about a different region in the world. Like
Mhm.
imagine if you're in Germany today and you're interested in these secret societies, lodges, and theosophy. Yes,
Mhm.
you're going to study Rudolf Steiner.
Mhm.
Yes. So, for example, he gave how many lectures in what they call Cycle A of the spiritual science of man? Yes, called Geisteswissenschaftliche or something, or Menschenkunde. Yes. Well,
Mhm.
anyway, how many lectures did he give? How many?
19 lectures. Berlin, 19th of
What
October.
did they start?
19 lectures.
He gave no lectures for this. And when did they start? In
19th of
Berlin? Or
October of 1908
what?
in
He gave
Berlin.
19 lectures and they started on the 19th. His early lectures, they made notes from the 19 lectures. And then before he died, he could only give 19 lessons or lectures. And he became the Secretary General or President of the German Theosophical Society on the
Mhm.
19th.
Mhm. Mhm.
Are you beginning to smell the bullstein?
Yes.
Ah, you think that's just it?
It's very
Ah,
pungent.
some people will say that all this is flimsy. It's
Mhm.
not enough. So we
Mhm.
were showing what you call it, yes, Rudolf Steiner in 1907 or 1908. That there's many things people are actually buying these books. They're paying money,
Mhm.
$50 or $100. God knows, people actually buy these books.
Mhm.
Yes, to read
Mhm.
these lectures and other things. They really think they're going to learn some occult or some masonry or some theosophy or some Rosicrucianism. And this is on lectures on the founding of the Christian community.
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
what do you call it? By Rudolf Steiner. Yes,
Mhm.
and this is what Rudolf Steiner did in 1922. Yes, and
Yep.
how many lectures did he give? The bottom paragraph shows it.
Yeah, 19 lectures, talks and answers to questions.
19 lectures on Christian religious works that he's
Mhm.
trying to write about the theosophy.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Wasn't it that he gave 19 lectures for the spiritual science of man? That these are some of the big lectures and the big things that he did. You see?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes? Okay. So now you can buy books about he also spoke about the what do you call it, the 19 uh, parts of the astral body from the Upanishads in the Vedas. But he's in Germany, by the way, in a different location, in different years. So now Rudolf Steiner, let's go through. Yes, according they're saying he wrote his books. You could buy them. Yes, what do you call it? Concerning the astral world and Devachan notes. How many lectures and lessons did he give in 1903-04 just regarding the astral world?
Considering the astral world and Divachan notes from 19 lectures, 19.
Ah, yeah. Aren't you beginning to see that there is something totally wrong with the actual history? So now they say that Rudolf Steiner in his house or in his secret lodge or God knows or wherever, yeah, he had his own library. Yes, of course, he's in Germany at this time. So now he's got a library of books. Yes, and
Hmm.
before he was he was with the Theosophical Society. And from his library, how many books did he have in English which are actually really connected to him, as inscribed to him? How many books in
Well,
English?
it says 19 of the Anglo books are identified as inscribed to Rudolf Steiner.
How many did you say? How many books?
19, 19.
Ah, oh, they're the ones who are telling us this history. It's not as if we are looking for this history. So
Hmm.
now let's have a look at when Rudolf Steiner is promoting Hinduism and meditation. Yes,
Hmm.
if anybody's going to be saying my books are expensive, only one book is expensive. It's if somebody's going to say they're complaining it's $100, they can buy this book by Rudolf Steiner himself. Yes, this
Hmm.
book is here it's $104.
Hmm.
It's 100 years old, and it's a first class lessons in the mantras, and what do you call it, the Michael School Meditative Path. And how many steps does this book teach you about?
19 steps.
Yeah, 19 steps for
Hmm.
the 19 parts of your astral body, by the Secretary General or President of the Theosophical Society of Germany, and he became the leader on the 19th. He was one of the original 19 founders of the Theosophical Society. Yeah. Aren't you beginning to? And he had 19 books in English, yes, that were ascribed to him. Aren't you beginning to see something is wrong?
Hmm. Hmm. Yep.
Can you clearly see it now, or you still cannot?
Yeah, I'm seeing very clearly that 19 is popping up over and over again.
Okay,
You
so
know, it's not a
now around the
coincidence.
time, yeah, around the time of Rudolf Steiner, yes,
Hmm.
there was a man in Germany. Yes, there was a man in Germany called Karl Lamprecht. And
Hmm.
Karl Lamprecht, yes, he wrote the most controversial history or famous history of Germany at the time. Yes, before World War One. Yes,
Hmm.
he was famous, in the times after Bismarck. So,
Hmm.
he was famous in Germany at the same time as Rudolf Steiner. And he wrote the entire history, or a major part. He wrote German history because that's when Germany was formed, at the time of Bismarck. And he wrote his history. And how many volumes did he have?
Let's see. Karl Lamprecht, uh, let's see, wrote a German history in 19 volumes.
What? Are you sure? He was famous like Rudolf Steiner. And in fact, it depends. Some people will say he was more famous. Um, and the thing is, but when you go through this, yes, this Karl Lamprecht, he wrote his 19 volumes. How do historians define this man? Yes.
Hmm. One second. Let's see. Karl Lamprecht, A German Academic Life, 1856 to 1915. Karl Lamprecht was the most controversial historian in Imperial Germany. His great project, the attempt to fashion on all embracing.
Yeah, because they didn't really have any German history books
Mm.
because Germany didn't exist.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, and people couldn't even speak German. It's strange that these books were written in German at the time.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
how can we believe this history? Yeah, these
We
things are
can't.
suspicious.
Right.
See? Yes. So
Mhm,
the thing is what do you call it yeah. So as you're beginning to see, there is something wrong. Um, 19 years have passed since I joined. Now, Annie Besant
mhm,
became a leader of the Theosophical Society in England, and
mhm,
she wrote her own autobiography or something. And I've highlighted it in blue. They're saying she wrote it
mhm.
herself in the early 20th century. And what does she say herself in her own words in in the preface?
Okay, let's
She
see.
wrote a biography. When did she write it?
19 years have passed away since I joined the Theosophical Society.
As continue.
As recorded as the close of this book, and during these 19 years, I have been lecturing and writing on its behalf, and have traveled pretty well all over the world in its service. Most European
Okay, so
countries have been
now,
visited. Yep.
as you can see,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you have to think there's thousands of books. Who the hell is writing all these books?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
Mm-hmm.
it's these people? They've all
Mm-hmm.
got the same codes, the same mathematics, everything. It means that somebody else is writing them.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
see? Yes. So,
Yep.
as you can see, and that's why they've tried to balance the history. They're using the mathematics of the cube. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, or the flower of life, which is 19 triangles. So
Mm-hmm.
now, what we will find is that it is well known, yes, or many people will say this, yes. Well, it depends, well known on what number you wish to say. So Annie Besant, who became the leader of the Theosophical Society after Blavatsky, yes, what do you call it? How old was she when she got married?
Well, let's see. In December of that year, at age 20, Annie married a
Ah, okay,
cleric.
okay. Okay, so now we've got that.
Mm-hmm.
But if anybody does searches many journals, many books, and many magazines, for some strange reason, yes, for some unknown reason, many books and magazines will say, how old was she when she married? Annie Besant got married.
It says that Annie Besant, quote, I will speak for all the despairing silent ones. Annie met and married a strict evangelical clergyman, Frank Besant,
What age?
at
What age?
19. At 19. At
Yes.
19.
So now
Yep.
we saw that Wikipedia says that she was 20 years old. So the thing is, many of these people play with numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so now here is encyclopedia.com. And how
Mm-hmm.
old do they say she was when she got married?
Let's see here. Let's see. Annie Besant, encyclopedia, born to William. Let's see. Annie married a young clergyman at 19. At 19.
So encyclopedia. So I did more searching. I thought it's suspicious. So I checked more, and I thought, okay, let's check the New World Encyclopedia. How old does it say she was when she got married?
Okay. Here it says Frank Besant at 19. So Annie married at 19.
Yeah, before I sent the preface of the book itself. But if anybody wants to do a Google search for the book, they can find it of Annie Besant's biography. And
Mm-hmm.
she herself, he says, when she wrote the biography, how many years had passed since she was in the Theosophical Society?
I think it was 19 when I read it
It's
before.
19. I've sent it to you again.
Yeah.
Yes, so that you can see it. And by
Yeah.
the way, in case many people don't know, that she was, they say all this history is just fake, that she
Mm-hmm.
became president of the Theosophical Society in 1907. And you're going to find pictures of these things. everywhere, and people think all these things are true. What they did is they invented the history. They wrote the books for thousands of people in different histories, different places around the world. Then
Mhm.
they used these actors, they in places, and they just took photographs. That's all they did. Now, many
Mhm.
people will find it hard to believe, but I'm sorry. That's what I can see is going on. The history is just a joke, and the
Mhm.
religions are just a joke. So here we have Madame Blavatsky. They're going to show us this picture. We just look, it looks ridiculous because then when we look at pictures of Queen Victoria and
Mhm.
we compare them to Madame Blavatsky, yes,
Mhm.
they look, it looks like they use the same actor with different clothes. And
Mhm.
I've explained this more in my book Illuminati Games.
Mhm.
Yes, and
Mhm.
where I've shown that they're using people with similar faces, similar things, or they're even using masks, because masks are something that people have used throughout history.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
and they've used them throughout history. And so it's in my book Illuminati Games, and that book also shows how they're using the number 19, like for example in Colonel Gaddafi in Libya and in many other places. So the thing is, what they're doing is just playing games. For example, let me just show you a picture from the book itself, Illuminati Games, and what we find. Many people have noticed this, but you can find these pictures on Google searches.
Mhm.
Yes, and here shown a picture of Blavatsky and Queen Victoria when they were both younger. Yes,
Mhm.
and to me, it looks like they're fake photographs or fake images, and it's exactly the same person. They're just
Mhm.
using actors in different places. People won't know. Maybe they used her in the history of Greece, the same woman, or in the history of Spain, or in the history of Argentina, and said, this is the wife of Carlos Menimos, or in Italy, like Giorgio Romani's wife, or some crap. You
Mhm.
see? They're
Mhm.
actually just using actors. They've invented the total history, and they're still doing similar things today. Many people don't know these things.
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
the other thing is, Madame Blavatsky is connected to Abdul Baha, and she had meetings with him, and he even gave lectures in the Theosophical Society. And you do know about the Baha'i religion. Yes,
Yes.
19 this, 19 in a year, 19 this, that, everything. You know about it, yes or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, many people haven't read the Baha'i religious book. I have read it and other things, but here you find photographs of these people. They just look like actors to me, and there's somebody above them who's organized everything, and they're all making money about it and they're happy about it. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, and you complain if the world wants to be stupid and dumb, then they can carry on being stupid and dumb. Yes, people can. If people want to believe all this history, they can believe it. It's their choice. Yes. So
Yep.
the thing is let's go to other members. Yes, I'm there. I've shown an example of Annie Besant and the suspicious history, Rudolf Steiner, Blavatsky, and many other things. Baha'u'llah, people can read my books for this. But here is another member of uh, uh, the Theosophical Society, and there's a guy called Olcott, one of the founders. He's having a fight with William Q. Judge, one of the founders. Yes, and these people called each other, masters and things like this in many of these lodges. Yes, and the thing is, and there was hundreds of these lodges around the world, but as you
Mhm.
could see, they charged Judge with misusing the Mahatmas' names and
Mhm.
handwriting on letters. Yes, about Hinduism and things like this. But anyway, the thing is, when one studies the case against William Judge, yes, so they try to show you that this was a proper history. They've totally prepared the entire history for you. Well, it's been 100 years. They've got thousands of workers. This is what the CIA really does. This is what MI5 really does, and other organizations. This is what these people are doing. This is what secret societies do. They write fake history because
Mhm.
many members in many lodges. actually to progress higher, you've got to write theses and essays and things. Did you know this? Well,
Um,
anyway, they're going to show that what? Go ahead. What were you going to
no,
say?
no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm listening. Sorry. Go ahead.
Many people don't know this. You actually have to do these things depending
Hmm.
on what type of a member you are, and if the society is an original one or if it's a fake one. Anyway, so what they're doing is investigating. What do you call it? Yes, and they're investigating William Q. Judge or whatever. So here it is. Let's go through the case against William Q. Judge, and as you go down the page, people can check this.
Hmm.
Yes, I've highlighted it in green. Yes.
Well,
So the thing is, you could read it. Just read it a bit fast, and you could see it in green. Yes.
I don't see the highlighted section because it's
Ah,
not showing up. But Colonel
yes.
Alcott's letters on February 7th reached Mr. Judge
Next
on March
page. The
10th.
next page. Next page. The
Next page.
next
Okay.
page.
Okay. Yes, I see it. Let's see. The
This
society
was the
has no dogma to the existence of such masters, but the deliberations of an official committee of the society on such a question, and that is the first inquiry and decision necessarily beginning such a deliberation, would mean that the Theosophical Society, after over 19 years of unsectarian work, is determined to settle this dogma and affix it to the constitution of the society. To this I will never consent, but shall object.
that was the problem. But as you can see, you've just read that, and it sounds like bullshit to me.
Hmm.
Bullstein. Yes, the words are ridiculous that the average person isn't going to understand, and they're going to think, they were doing serious things at the time.
Hmm.
You've got lots of friends in your lifetime. Do you have many friends, boring bastages, yes, who are just sitting there saying, I'm going to write a diary every day saying Putin did this today, Donald Trump did this today, Shinzo Abe of Japan did this today, the Saudi king, he did this today, Erdogan of Turkey did this today. This is the way that they've got many history books. How
Hmm.
many people are actually sitting down writing any garbage book like that at all, do you think, in the world right
Well, I
now?
don't know of any myself, but what
Do
can
you
I
think
say?
anybody's actually doing such boring bullshit? And they're
I doubt
telling
it.
us we've got thousands of books and manuscripts that people were turning around and saying, in our city, we just had we just had problems with the other city. The mayor of that city was his name was this. He was born on this date. He had this many children. His wife was this name. Do you think anybody is writing down who is the mayor of Miami, who his wife is, and he's married to this place? He just had a meeting with the mayor of Los Angeles. The mayor of Los Angeles was born on this date. Do you think people are actually writing any bullstein like this down at all in the world? And they're saying we've got the full history of the world like this. Do you think anybody's actually doing that? People are actually doing that. You'll need thousands of people to write like that. Is it? And we've got lots of books like that they're saying we've got thousands of books from the last 1,000 years like this. Do you
Mhm.
actually believe that,
No, I do
or do
not.
you
I
think these
can't.
books are forgeries?
No, I think these books are forgeries myself. Yes.
And they're actually written in the same language of what you just read. The society has no dogma as to the existence of such masters, but the deliberations of an official committee of the society on such a question, and that is the first inquiry and decision necessarily beginning such a deliberation, would mean that the Theosophical Society, after 19 years of unsectarian work, is determined to settle this dogma and affix it to the constitution of this society. The way that they've written it, it sounds like they're having a war over millions of dollars or something.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yes, and
Hmm.
another thing, yes, they're turning around saying they opened lodges. They went from America to England. They went to India. Were these guys? Where did they get their cash from?
Hmm.
Nobody is actually thinking seriously, and people are actually thinking this history is actually true. And
Hmm.
then they set up their headquarters in India For that time, what India looked like, basically people had no shoes, half the
Mhm.
people were half naked. Yet these people set up headquarters in a building like this, and they set it up on the 19th.
Yeah.
Whoa, where the hell did they get this cash from? Then they've got the slaves and the people making the food and everything. It's just a big joke. It's a big
Mhm.
lie.
Mhm.
Yes. So the thing is, this shows the main building, and if anybody wants to read through that, it shows the problems between when Judge was accused by Alcott. Yes.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
the thing is, yeah, these are amongst the founding fathers. Yes, and so let's just have a look at William Q. Judge. Yes. And what
Mhm.
we know about William Q. Judge is that, yeah, you can't always put 19 or it will become too suspicious. He wasn't born on the 19th, but they're saying he's Irish. He went to America. Yes, and he was one of the original founders of the Theosophical Society and occultist. And then when people see these pictures and things online, they're going to actually think, hey, these people must have really existed in the past. Yes,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
what anybody would naturally assume. Yes, wouldn't you?
Of
We think
course.
that this is actual history. But anyway, before we go on to things like William Q. Judge, I've just been distracted because, for example, in America there is the Frick collection of paintings. Yes, and it's got another name now. It's changed its name, but it's not, or mainly is the Frick collection. How many galleries of old master paintings do they have? Especially many paintings from the early 20th century and 19th century. How many galleries do they have?
19 galleries.
Ah, wow, that's interesting. Yes, so if anybody does visit the place, I hope you enjoy visiting the 19 galleries. So now there was a famous um, photograph or image that was produced, just over 100 years ago, known as the composite Madonna. Because there's all these Madonna statues, some people call them Virgin Mary statues, or the Madonna statue with the child. And so there was a man, he produced the composite Madonna. It became a big subject, yes,
Mhm.
in art at the time. Yes. And what they did was they put together many images of the Madonna statues and many things because they wanted to calculate what Madonna, or what some people would say is the Virgin Mary, or somebody tried to calculate what this Madonna looked like. Yes, the
Mhm.
Madonna statues that were in Europe during the Renaissance. So what they did is here you can read it yourself. How many paintings did they the composite Madonna, or uniting all the images to get the face together, from the date range of paintings from the 13th century to the 19th century? How many paintings did they use? 200 and
271?
yeah, so that's quite a lot. It's an impressive thing because they're trying to figure out what the composite Madonna actually looks like. Now the thing is, many people will turn on and say, "Hey, David, does he do his research?" As you can see, I'm showing examples of websites. I actually open up the books. Here is a document from the Theosophical Society. I think it's in 1935. Yes. I've, I've sent it to you. Have you received it?
Yeah, I just
December
got it.
1933, documents from the Theosophical Society. So that's a bit difficult to look at. So I've enlarged it. So
Yeah.
I will send you the enlargement. Yes. So it became a famous story about the composite Madonna for the occultists. Yes. So
Mhm.
they advertised it in the Theosophical Society, and many other places. So the thing is, what we know is that what they did was they put together 271 paintings. So I've just sent you another picture. This enlarged it, and in the paragraph, can you see an estimated 271
Yep.
famous Madonnas, including one from St. Luke,
Yep. I see it.
etc. So they
Yep.
put yes. So now, how did they, for the Madonna, composite Madonna, which is very famous, people will have to look for the composite Madonna art themselves, yes, in their own time. So how did they actually calculate and design the actual composite Madonna? Yes. So now you can go to the right-hand side and you can read what they did. Generally, though, out of the 271 paintings, what did they do? Generally,
1 second. It's still loading for me, and it takes a little bit of, let's see. Generally, similar paintings were classified into distinctive groupings, and of these, there were 19. Should I
ah,
continue?
so so the person who did the composite Madonna, he did it by separating and classifying the paintings into 19 different parts. And
Mm-hmm.
from there, he managed to invent the composite Madonna. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's very great. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's a great thing. Yes, it's very good. The composite Madonna was made by Joseph Gray, and what's his name again? Let's see, Kitchell. That's what they say. And it took him many years, they say 20 or 30, 31 years or something just to get it done. Yeah, so it was a difficult job. Yes. A difficult job. Well, and by the way, you've heard of H.G. Wells, yes?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was a famous writer for science fiction, and there was another famous writer around that time known as Beresford. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but
No, I'm not familiar
Beresford.
with him, but Wells is well known.
Yeah.
He wrote The War of the Worlds, right? War of the Worlds.
Well, anyway, Beresford, he wrote about, he was one of the early science fiction writers, or one of the founding fathers of modern science fiction writing. And
Mm-hmm.
he even wrote, he wrote about H.G. Wells and what
Mm-hmm.
he thought of him. Yes. And
Mm-hmm.
so he was very famous. He was an English writer anyway. So the thing is, and one of his um, what type of a person was he? Yes, let's have a look. He was one of so many of these science fiction writers, like Beresford and many others, were actually involved in secret societies. Yes,
Uh-huh.
and
Mm-hmm.
what do you call it? Yes, and how did he describe himself? And Beresford, who wrote about H.G. Wells, how did he describe himself?
Later in life, Beresford abandoned his earlier agnosticism and described himself as a theosophist and a pacifist.
Yeah, so basically, he was into theosophy. So
Yeah.
now, what Beresford does, yes, he decides to, what do you call it? Yes, look into, the next life and
Mm-hmm.
flaws in time and reincarnations. And
Mm-hmm.
he wrote a book. What was it called?
Let's see. 19 impressions, flaws in the time scheme, an effect of reincarnation.
Yes, it's maybe it's not the actual book. I've actually forgotten, or if it's a short essay. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, but it was called 19 Impressions.
Yep.
Yes,
19
and the
impressions. Yep.
thing is, yeah. So the thing is, um, yeah, so he was connected to many members of the Theosophical Society and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so, the Theosophical Society and Hinduism, everybody knows, and Masonry and Rosicrucianism and to build the temple in Jerusalem. Um, well, there's a conflict. The Palestinians are saying it's all a scam. Yes, it's a big conflict, but they call these Theosophists and Masons and Rosicrucians and this modern age thinking, they call it the New Age movement. You've heard about it, that
Yep.
Hinduism and Buddhism is seen as part of the New Age movement, that
Yeah.
they
Yep.
are the new religions in the world. Well, one of the one of these organizations that was very famous in the 20th century was known as the Arcane School, and there was a lady known as Alice Bailey. Yes, have you heard of her?
Yes. Yes. Alice Bailey.
Oh,
Yep.
you have. Okay,
Yes.
so let's look at Alice Bailey. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
um, what she said. Well, they're saying suggested, but in her arcane school,
Mm-hmm.
which there was many people in India that were involved. She says that a new Messiah, or the master matria, or the yeah, or
Maitreya. Yep.
yeah, I say matria. It's because it comes from the word medi and
Mm-hmm.
maths,
Yep.
and what do you call it, Metatron and other things,
Yeah.
said
Mm-hmm.
would come in the last quarter of the 20th century. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, that failed, and
Yep.
what she did was she used the triangle symbol and many of the triangles. Yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if people want to understand this, they're going to have to read my books, especially they'll have to read the book Alpha and the Amiga codes
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to understand more about this. Let me just show you what this is. If they haven't read it, many people won't understand it. The Alpha and the Amiga codes, and where I said, because I don't want to talk politics, there is, because Palestine and the temple, they've turned it into a political issue so that people will think Armageddon and believe things. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the Alpha and Amiga codes. But anybody who reads my book, what do you call it, Israel or Palestine, then they will know that the entire thing is a scam about the temple, which
Mm-hmm.
is going to be in a cube shape. But so far, I haven't managed to get to the cube because this is taking a lot longer than I expected, actually. So I would let's just finish off the part about theosophy
Mm-hmm.
in India. But anyway, so she made these predictions, Alice Bailey, that failed to come. Now, many people think that these people are actual real people and they did this, or were they actually working for the secret New World Order or the New World Government? Yes, because soon you're going to see that these people, if you read my book, Israel or Palestine or the Alpha and Omega codes, you're soon going to realize that they're actually working for a certain organization. So, for example, here it is. What do you call it? Alice Bailey. People think these people are real. They think these people actually wrote these books, wrote these journals, wrote these essays, that these people said these things. So the thing is, she had her own own type of lodges or schools. What do you call it? Yes, founder of the Arcane School. Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
so Alice Bailey. Let's look a bit more into this, and soon you're going to realize that you're going to know if this genuine history, or and do they have anything religious to teach about initiation and channeling in their Masonic type of teaching. And
Mm-hmm.
so she was approached by the Master Dajwal or something. I think he's an Indian person. I've forgotten. Let me just check because I forgot. I don't want to get this wrong. Yeah,
Maybe
Master.
Tibetan.
What's this name?
Dijwal
Dajwal.
Kul.
Yeah, yeah, Dajwal Pul. The thing is, the thing is, yeah, the thing is, let me just see. The thing is that, well, she claimed, I'm not sure if he's a real person or if he's an imaginary person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, in fact, I've got the information ready. But anyway, you can carry on reading what
Okay.
happened when
In
this
1919,
master.
Alice was approached by a master, Dijwal
He
Kul.
wasn't. He approached her in the transmission, who requested that he become her control in the transmission by clairvoyant telepathy, and he passed her a series of books.
Yes, 19 books in all. We were dictated between 1919 and 1960.
Whoa. How many books did she get clairvoyantly or telepathically?
19
To
books.
her initiation. Ah, so Alice Bailey, yes, for another one of these new age religions. Yes, she got 19 books for her. And the thing is, I'm looking for this master, whatever. There's no
Yep.
point. I forgot. Here is the reason why there is no point because this master Dutch wall or something. Yes.
Hmm.
What we know about him is that it's an unseen mentor that she got the information clairvoyantly and that she mysteriously they say that she's one of the founders of the New Age movement in religions.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's what we are told. Yes. So the thing is, I forgot what the connection is, but anyway, so this judge, yes, judge who was in the one of the founding fathers of
Yep.
the what's it called? What's that society? The
Theosophical.
Theosophical Society.
Yep.
Yes, that they had many lodges all around the world. He was one of the founding fathers, and he died. So
Hmm.
of course, there was a dispute. Yes, they had a dispute, and that had something to do with 19. I forgot what it was. We already mentioned it. But when he died, the Theosophical Society published a booklet for all its members, strictly private, and they sent it by post to their thousands of members. God knows how many they had at the time. How many pages was this pamphlet, by the way?
19
This is from the
page
Blavatsky
pamphlet.
archive. Are you sure? I'm getting sick of this 19, aren't you?
Hmm. I am.
Are you not just getting totally sick of this crap? Can't you see that not only this, that when we look at these books, everything pamphlets that they published, here is an example. That the thing is, by the time you go through it and you study this history, you'll notice they've got fake publishing dates, they've got fake printing dates, they've got fake authors, fake photographs. That today, that in the world today, many books like these famous writers that we've got today, even they are fake, and
Hmm.
they are the people who promoted world history, like the history of Plato, the history of
Hmm.
the New Testament,
Hmm.
um, and the Hinduism, Maha the
Hmm.
Gnostic Gospels,
Hmm.
Theosophy and Science, philosophy. These people did this.
Yep.
It's all a lie. It's all a scam. Nobody is telling you about this history. So, what do you call it? Yes, and let's go to universal theosophy today. Yes,
Hmm.
these lodges. Yes, that many people they're members of each other's lodges, like Rosicrucians, Knights Templar lodges, Freemasonry lodges, many of the things, and they all share information. They believe in each other's garbage, and this is from Universal Theosophy. And what do they promote and teach?
uh, s- Theosophy of the Upanishads. Upanishads as the 19 mouths or
Yes,
windows.
yes. So the thing is, um, so they're teaching this theosophy of the Upanishads, and this is based on 19. That for your life to be successful and to move forward, yes, has got to do with 19, that you've got to be successful. Like, for example, here is the Theosophist magazine from Canada. I think it's in 1933. I've read all of this stuff. As you can see, I'm just reading it out dead fast. So it just tells you I know this stuff from the back of my head. Have you noticed this? It's like, as you could tell the tone of my voice, I just see it's garbage. Is it? Yeah, it's 1933, Hamilton, Ontario, in Canada. Yes.
Hmm.
So they're
Yep.
giving this out in their lodges, and they're giving it to other lodges, to Masons, to Rosicrucians, to
Hmm.
Christian lodges, to other people. And so you can read it through there that the degrees in their lodges, that what do you have to do? It's like they say that but the third degree was basically the highest. Yes,
Hmm.
like the Trinity. That's a different story. But to achieve the first degree and the second degree, I've highlighted it.
Yep.
What do you have to achieve, or what do you have to protect?
The first degree consists in waking life, outwardly perceiving, seven-limbed with 19 mouths of a tester,
Basically, you've got
taster
to.
of physical things, a vital fire common to all men, and then 19 mouths again.
So that's
Second
what you
degree,
have to
yeah.
pass. So once you've passed that, wow, in the lodge you've done well. Now for the
Hmm.
second degree, what do you have to pass again?
Inwardly
The
perceiving,
19 mouths,
yeah, inwardly
same
perceiving
thing.
the 19 mouths, yeah.
Yes. So after this, yeah, you get to the third degree where you have no desire at all, and reunited with Purusha, yes, who is the image of God, or basically you've become one with this dreamlessness, and you've unified, yes,
Hmm.
unified with collective perception or blissful whatever. And this is, you could read the bottom of that paragraph. This is the All Lord. You've unified with it.
Hmm.
This is what?
The
This is
all-knower.
what?
This is the
All
all
Lord and
Lord.
all
This
Lord.
is the all knower. This the inner ruler. This the womb of all, the outgoing and incoming of beings.
Yes. They use these crazy words. Every Hindu priest that you see is going to be using different words similar to this. Am I correct? Yes or no?
Yes,
You've
yes.
read this type of stuff before. If you're in India, you've probably met many of these gurus and pundits yourself. I met many of them. They're using similar words, saying,
Yep.
if you want to understand what is this, then this is the All Lord, and this is the All Knower, and this is the inner ruler. This is the womb of all. And if you
Hmm.
achieve this, then you've become the outgoing, and you've unified with the All Lord and the All Knower.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you become one together with that, what they're basically saying is that you've become God.
Yep.
You see?
Hmm.
Yes. And then if you fail to become God, shitters, Holstein, you're coming back as as a piece of shit. You see?
Yep.
Yes. Now the secret to this and all these things, that all these things I've actually described it, to show the 19 things. It's in my book, The Secrets of Kabbalah.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
So the
Hmm.
thing is, these people are promoting these things. They promote each other. Now, the thing is, if there is anyone who they don't like, they are not going to promote him. They are
Right.
not going to form societies promoting something. So these people are promoting this. They're doing everything within their power.
Hmm.
Yes. So that's what these people are doing. Yes. So the thing is, just in case people are going to say, in India, the connection before, I'm not sure if I sent it to you properly, so I will send it again. What do you call it? Where they set up their headquarters in India. Madame Blavatsky mysteriously arrives in India. I mean, who the hell is paying for this? I forgot that they set up their European headquarters in London on the 19th as well. I forgot. Yes, I've got it here. Yes, yeah. So the thing is, they will use this number 19 in a different way. But if anybody can see through it, like they set up in a different way, but this is equally suspicious. The European headquarters for the Theosophical Society were established where?
At 19 Avenue Road, London.
Yes. But for no reason they are going to advertise the address. Yes, which doesn't make sense. That it's in too many websites. It's almost like they want you to notice. I
Hmm.
came across this. The strange thing is, so Madame Blavatsky was in London, yeah,
Hmm.
and she was what do you call it? She formed the Blavatsky Lodge at the 19th, and she's like hanging around at 19 Avenue Road. Don't you find it suspicious? Then she's very sad to go from England because she has to go to India. and they set up their headquarters in Idar on the 19th. And what date did they leave England?
Mm. Let's see. Left English shores on January 19th.
Ah, yes. And so the thing is, what type of a website is actually advertising these stories?
Universal Masonry.
It's Masonic websites.
Yeah.
Yes. So the thing is, these people are all linked with each other. You can,
Yes.
as you can see.
Yep.
Yes. So
Mhm.
the thing is, as you can see, all of it, nobody. I'm being serious to you. I would have been totally lost. I personally would have been totally lost, even you, that we would have seen these numbers, 19 and 33. But as you can see from geometry, what they call sacred geometry in India, the flower of life, the 19 circles, and it becomes 33 to actually form a cube. Yes?
Mhm.
So the thing is, it forms a cube. That's a different story that I will have to go into next time. The Muslim Kaaba, many people say, is in the shape of a cube. That this
Mhm.
is very important. Yes, I've not commented on it. And the thing is, if anybody is listening, don't judge anything yet if you don't know. If you haven't read all my books, don't judge it.
Mhm.
Yes, so now the strange thing is, nobody in the world is talking about this number and giving a warning.
Mhm. Mhm.
Nobody.
Yep.
Now, I'm lucky from a very young age and many years ago, 25, 30 years ago, something like that, or 35 years, many years ago, I came across the Quran when I was in high school, having the time of my life. And at that time, met some Muslims and they gave me the Quran. And of course, I was into numerology because I was studying the Kabbalah. Lucky. Yes, I was lucky to have a kind of Jewish background or Judeo Christian background education. Yes,
Mhm.
so I
Mhm.
was lucky to have this. Yes, so I've sent you the next page, and in the Quran, yes, the modern chapter is it says number 74, but the Quran doesn't really have any chapters. It's an
Mhm.
oral book. The chapter numbers, the current chapter numbers, the evidence shows that the British and the French and the Vatican invented the chapter numbers. But anyway, the Quran tells you that you will find this number 19. And
Mhm.
what does it tell you about this number?
The Arabic Quran
This
says
number
that,
is
yeah, says that over the fire, over it are 19. And this
what is
number
this
is,
number anyway?
what's that?
What is this number?
And this number is a trial and a test for those who do not believe. Why? So that they may know for sure what is the truth. And this is one of the greatest warnings to mankind.
Yes. So the thing is, I've been studying gematria in French. Well, I'm talking about by the time I came across the Quran, I already had studied Hebrew gematria, Arabic gematria. I think I was studying around that time. Yes. And French gematria, English gematria, things like this. And I had already, by the age of 10, I'd invented my own gematria in my own fake language. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did my created my own first secret language mathematically, but when I was aged, I think 8, 9, or 10. I remember this before I even went to high school. I was one of them crazy people. Yes. So the thing is, I knew about numerology. It was like a piece of cake for me. Yes. I figured out many of the duplicates in history. I remember I was only 12 years old. I'm writing out charts on. I'm lucky my parents were wealthy, so I had this like massive my own living room, massive own living room that
Mhm.
how many square meters would it be? Just the living room. I think just my own private living room was about 100 square meters. Yes,
Wow.
a
Yeah.
hundred square meters. Yes. So I used all the walls. Yes, and I drew charts of
Mhm.
all the royal families and everything and the interconnections between the marriages. And
Mhm.
that's when I thought, and then some of the major stories, that's when I noticed there were duplicates and it
Mhm.
didn't make sense.
Mhm.
Yes, that I noticed it. I was drawing these charts only at the age of 12.
Wow.
13, that by the time I came across the Quran, I already realized that Buddha was an invented character based on Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
an invented character.
Mhm.
So the thing is, anyway, the thing is, if you people think that this is a joke, do you know how much it costs these people to write all these pathetic books that what do you call it? That people are reading one book or a few. That pathetic organizations, churches, lodges, synagogues, mosques, temples, and all these organizations, everything they've formed. It's a nightmare to organize it. This is not a joke. This is no joke that they've invented fake history. Pascal's born on the 19th. The biggest experiments on the 19th. Pascal's triangle, one of the major triangles with odd numbers, is 19. This is not a joke. This is what amongst the biggest bullshine I've ever seen. Do you think it was easy for them to organize all this and keep it a secret? That people
No.
are looking for the number 33, as you pointed out, 33,
Mhm.
when actually it's 19.
Mhm.
Do you think it was easy?
No.
Do you think
No.
they wrote all these books, 19th century, late 19th century books, all these fake diaries, fake journals, fake everything, and then they had to print them later in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 1960s, and 70s? Do you think it was easy? And then they have to brainwash you with it? Yes, it's not easy. You've been
No.
to your local library. We've got these small libraries in every village with thousands of books. Have you noticed? There's thousands of books online. They've put it there to confuse you, keep you busy.
Mhm.
And then, yes, they organized it all mathematically. And
Mhm.
then this is part of their belief system that
Mhm.
this 19 is very important. And so when you said the word over, it's a fire. I've never said this to many people before. Yes. Um, but I'm going to say it now. Um, yes, and I'll show it. It's because many people, yes, what they will do is many people think they're clever. Yes. For example, I would like to point something out. You are in India, yes?
Mhm.
Now, if
Yes.
Pakistan was a dictionary for Hindi language into English, and many people know what Pakistan's relationship is with India, would
Mhm.
you trust a dictionary that will help you to translate between Hindi and English? Will you trust it if it's made in Pakistan?
Well, no, not really. No.
Okay. So now, if you want to translate the Quran, it's in Arabic.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
And would you trust a dictionary if it says made in Israel?
No, definitely not.
Why not?
Well, I
Well,
guess I have some reservations about that country, and the formation
ah,
thereof.
now we've got these people, and we've got many websites online, and
Mhm.
many people are making many videos. They think they're clever and they're experts, and they're trying to tell us about the Quran. Oh yeah. And the thing is, they're trying to tell us, and they're saying these are translations, these are root words, blah blah blah, everything. So many of these people, yeah, you'll find them everywhere. Yes, and they're going to show websites, and they're going to say, hey, I'm an expert. I'm actually, and they'll show you what do you call it, verses from the Quran. Like for example, I use corpusquran.com, but then again, I'm somebody who studied Arabic, and I've lived in the Middle East for more than a year.
Mhm.
Well, maybe up to 2 years, because if you classify North Africa, yes, where they speak Arabic. So here is, for example, where they will show many of these people that are making videos, and then what they will do is then they will try to show you the meaning of words or root words or many other things, and then they will say, hey, I've opened a purpose Quran, and then they will try and show to you, here is the past tense or the present tense, and they will show you examples, yes, of many things, and they will say this word means this and that, yes, and it's
Mhm.
based on English dictionaries, yes, that were made in the 19th century, in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, English and French dictionaries. The British were still occupying Arabic countries in the 1950s. By the way, yes, the British were, you're looking at Israel right now, you don't trust it. By the way, the British were murdering and raping people in the Middle East, in the 1950s. They occupied it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Egypt was occupied, for example. The British occupied Iraq.
Mhm.
Their soldiers were raping people, they were murdering people. They
Mhm.
wrote these dictionaries that people are now using. So, can you trust these dictionaries and these websites online by people who are murderers who compiled these Oxford dictionaries? Oxford University was not a university like today where anybody could go. It was colonial people and colonial murderers who were inventing these dictionaries, who were getting paid by money that was stolen from many places, colonial occupied places. That they were, it was blood money that wrote these dictionaries. Can you trust these dictionaries?
No, not at all.
Yeah. So these so-called Muslims now who are online, proud Muslims, and anybody believes any garbage that they say, can you trust these websites and things? No.
Nope.
And the British were fighting, and they destroyed the Muslim Caliphate Empire. And what do you call it? There was the Arabic, European Arabic, yes, from Ottoman Arabic, which many people ignore. And there are, of course, because when people mislead people, many things. Because I'm not promoting the Quran, but I'm saying there is something about this book. Because if this book is exposing this grand lie to do with the world history with the number 19. I
Mhm.
classify that book as an important historical document.
Mhm.
Now, after I've done this, when many people are saying, hey, I've read all his books, I've read many of his things, David Ewing's things, and then they're trying to define history. Oh, they've learned many things from me, but they won't put it in many of their works or say, I got it from David, but then they're trying to invent things. Of course, I'm not going to be happy about it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I tell people to be careful. If you want to learn about the Quran, I advise them to go to mosques because
Mhm.
then at a mosque you can open up the
Mhm.
website. Then if there is somebody who is there, they will turn around and say to you, hey, by the way, this is not the meaning that we have, because we know from oral meanings and other things, and we have Arabs here and
Mhm.
other things. Many Arabs don't speak Arabic. Some do, but the majority don't, and most of them learnt it in school. So now the thing is, there will be like 4 or 5 people that somebody else would say, he's talking rubbish, don't believe him, don't believe him. That you could sit there and make up your own mind up. You see?
Mhm.
You see?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes. So now the thing is, what the Quran, it turns around, and when you mentioned the word fire, I tried to cut you off. Yes.
Mhm.
The thing is, there is a reason for this. It's
Mhm.
because the thing is, over there, it turned around and says fire in Corpus Quran. Yeah, this
Mhm.
just shows garbage in these translations from these English dictionaries. Yes, in Corpus Quran, it turned around and says, what do you call it? Instead of saying over the fire, yes,
Mhm.
what do you call it? What does it call this place? How's
It
it
says
translated it
keepers
instead?
of the fire.
No, it says hell. I've sent you the.
Oh, oh, sorry.
It
I just received it. 1 second.
it calls
Uh.
it hell instead of fire. So some people are going to think it's hell, but
Mhm.
anybody who knows that European Muslims in Europe, in Russia, in Poland, in Germany, I'm talking
Yes.
about white people who have been Muslim for centuries, that they will say that the word hell is Jahannam. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
Hebrew. I mean Jahannam. Yes,
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
fire, Hannam in
Yeah.
Arabic. So when this word says sakar, yes, on
Yeah.
purpose they spelt it with the letter Q. You
Mhm.
see, when they know that it's easy to spell it with the letter A.
Mhm.
Sakar. Then another thing, these vowels don't exist in the manuscripts. And in
Mhm.
different pronunciations, people pronounce these vowels in different ways.
Mhm.
So therefore, we don't have many of these tenses that are invented. The British and the French put these tenses there. So now, when we look at many of the Ottoman manuscripts, these tenses aren't there. And then many of the Arabs who were from the Ottoman Arabic, yes, they pronounce it differently. And the word cigar in Spanish Arabic, that's Arabic. Today it's called Spanish. It's called
Mhm.
cigar. Yes,
Mhm.
it means burning.
Mhm.
But then we have in Jerusalem, many Muslims will know, on Temple Mount, there is a place, there is a stone. It's called the Sakar stone or the sacred stone.
Mhm.
Sacred, Sakra.
Mhm.
That's where the European word sacred or Sakar came from.
Mhm.
Yes?
Mhm.
Yes. Also, the word sukra or sugar is
Mhm.
related to this word.
Mhm.
Also, the word secret or sucker is related to this.
Mhm.
So when it's talking about that God is going to, what do you call it, make known to him a fire or make known a sucker or a secret or the sacred, yes,
Mhm.
over this sacred or this secret or this fire is 19.
Mhm.
Are you
Mhm.
beginning to see now? Now, some people have translated it as fire.
Mhm.
Now, if you're in Germany and you're looking at this from a German Arabic point of view, you're going to say this is something to do with sacred.
Mhm.
You see? Yes?
Mhm. Mhm.
So you see, so if you read this, it actually, even in the word for word translation here, which is even fraudulent, but it says that these people, they frowned, they scrolled, they turned back, they were proud, and they turned around and said that the Quran is, they turned around and said that the Quran, this is either a type of magic or it's copied or imitated. And this is the word of it says the word Bashar here. Bashar could mean, what do you call it? Could mean, they've translated it as the word of human being here. Yes. Um, yeah. Well, these people rejected the Quran. And then it says, soon God will show him, yes, Sakar, yes, or the secret, or the sacred, or the fire. And it says, what will make you know, what will make you understand what this sacred is? It's like they've translated this as soon God is going to show him the fire. Yes, but does it actually say fire? Yes, or does it actually say hell? Because the word hell is actually Jahannam. So now, if we translate it using Germanic Arabic or Ottoman Arabic, yes, not the English Arabic or the dictionaries that many Muslims are doing, yes, then what it looks like the thing is the word it says saker there, sacra,
Mhm.
sacre corps. In Paris, there is a church in Paris, Monsieur, known as the Sacre Corps. Yes, it
Mhm.
means the Sacred Heart. Yes, so
Mhm.
here it says soon God is going to take him to the sacred. And
Mhm.
then it says, you can read it yourself. Just translate it as leave the Arabic word sacred. Sacred. Yes? What,
Yeah.
read it. Soon I will drive him
Soon I will
to
drive
the
him
secret.
into hell. Drive
No,
him.
don't use the It's their invented translation.
Okay,
In
sacred,
another translation, it says
sacred.
fire.
Soon I will
Leave the
drive
word
him
sacred soon into sacred.
into
Yes?
sacred.
Keep the original.
Yes.
Carry on
Uh,
reading.
and what can you know? What secret? What is
No, it
secret?
does. It says, and what can make you know? What
Oh,
can make
sorry.
you
What
understand?
can make you know? What can make you know?
Okay, start again. Start again.
All
So
right.
these people who reject Quran,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it says soon.
Soon I will drive him into secret. And what can make you know? What is secret?
Is secret. Yes. And then it says the next verse. Actually, when you get to the next verse, it says that on this sacred, yeah. was it the next verse or just well, it turned around and basically says nothing will escape and nothing will leave this what do you call it, this sacred. And then it turned around and says that it's they've translated it as, let me just show you the forgery. It says that when you come to this sacred, yes, what they've turned around and said that the thing is, I've left the original translations in my books, but the fraudulence of the dictionaries, you know, the British were the murderers and the killers. When they made these dictionaries, this is how they've translated it. So, what does this sacred do, or sacra? What does this sacra do? You can read it. Carry on reading.
Let's see here.
Nothing can
It's
escape it. So, nothing it lets remain. So, basically, nothing escapes this secret. And it says nobody can get away from it. And then
okay.
what's the last word about the sacred? What does it do?
Let's see. Am I did I get the right one? It says not it
Yes,
lets remain, right? And
yes.
not
What's the
it
last word?
leaves.
And
Scorching.
the next, scorching. So scorching is like a burning. So now, even when you look at the word for word, yes, what do you call it? Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the similar words or the root words don't even sound like scorching.
Mm-hmm.
So the British wrote these dictionaries. And then mysteriously on the others, yes, when we look at all the others, just for this word, we find it says tablets or planks, like blocks of wood or tablets of wood or something, or tables or something. It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So there
Mm-hmm.
is something wrong with the English translations. That's why I've told everyone that they should go to the mosque.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's one. And then so the thing is, it doesn't make sense. Yes. So the thing is, um, let me just show you how much of a joke it is. So now it says that it what they say in the translation, they say that this sacred or this secret burns the human skin, scorches the human skin. That's what they actually say if you read it word for word, and that's what all the translations say. So now the thing is, this is why it's going to take another 10 or 20 years for the world to study what is Ottoman Arabic, because, there's different translations in Macedonia, in
Mm-hmm.
Kosovo. Millions of Muslims live in these places, in Albania, in Bosnia, in Serbia, in Romania, in Bulgaria, in Greece, in Hungary, in Russia, in Tatarstan, in Dagestan. Well, anyway, it says that this 19, it does scorching. It basically scorches. What do they say? Carry on reading.
Let's see. No, one second, because I'm getting these downloads a little bit slowly. So it says scorching the human skin over it are 19.
Now the word for the human skin is bashar.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So now if we look at the way that the same word they're saying is al bashar or lil bashar or something. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Here. Yes. So the thing is, what do you call it? Yes. When we look at the same word, this is the only instance or the only time, according to these translations, where it says that it burns the human skin or something. Because the thing is, when the same word is used in other other places, it
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't say human skin or anything. Can you see it?
Yes, yes. One second.
Bashar. Yes.
Yes, I have it. It says Bashari is the human skin, but other places is human beings. Human being.
Yes. Now, yes. So the thing is, because it says Lil Bashari, so
Mm-hmm.
now we have to turn around and when we see a similar thing like Al Bashara or Al Bashari, depending on pronunciation,
Mm-hmm.
because we're talking, it's big entire region, billions of people, Muslims, and they pronounce these words differently. This is based on, yeah, the Egyptian Quran from Cairo and the
Mm-hmm.
English dictionaries. Now it was before it was human beings are burning the skin, and a similar word with the root words. What does it say here for
Human beings.
Bashra? No, here I've sent you the next page.
Oh, okay, sorry. Let's see. Bushara is good tidings, glad tidings.
Yeah, good news. Good news. So
Yeah, good
we've got
news.
a problem. It shows there's an entire problem. And this problem, if anybody is wondering what this problem is with the dictionaries, this problem, I've explained it in my book, Secrets of Kabbalah.
Mm,
So the thing is, it's not a question of whether it causes a fire or burning. The Quran tells you, yes, that this is like a sakra or sacred or like a burning, because cigar is actually Arabic, Spanish, and it's like burning. Yes, and then sakra is like Latin, Arabic, and it means sacred or sacred fire. So it's okay, but the thing is, yes, the way the translations of the Quran are done and the forgery, yes,
mm-hmm.
and that's why you can't believe translations. Corpus Quran is pretty good, but the 10%, it's so big that
Yeah.
10% modifies the entire meaning of a book.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I've made it clear before that there's 10% problems in translation, but
Yeah.
that 10% changes the entire meaning.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yeah.
So that's why I've advised people before, and I give them the same advice again. Don't believe people online, in websites, in Quranist organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Don't believe anybody. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
online or even the websites. The websites, the translations that are done right now, they've been checked by many Muslims, millions of them. So the general translations are okay in
Mm-hmm.
Corpus Quran. There
Mm-hmm.
is a 10% problem that could take up to 20 years to fix. There are
Mm-hmm.
some people who are boasting I'm an expert and they're saying, look here on this website, it says this and that. It doesn't. It doesn't. There is a
Mm-hmm.
problem. It's because the Quran is in Arabic. So if you want to understand it, go to the mosque. There's people in mosques who understand Arabic and people who've studied Arabic for years, and don't depend on one person, because then there'll be 5, 10 people. Make friends if you really want to learn. And this book has something serious to say. You
Mm-hmm.
see?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because it's from this book that I found out that they're lying and there's all this crap there, that no way can this history be true. Now, I'm going to round it off. We don't have much time, or I was going to go more into Hinduism and show, how this 19 is there everywhere. It's part of the forgery.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but so far, yeah. Do you think world history is true, or
No,
do you think there's something wrong?
wrong.
Can you see it?
Something's wrong. Yeah.
Something is wrong. Do you think it was easy for them to create this?
No, not at
Put
all.
all these in all these books. And do you think it didn't cost them anything to type all these books? Do you know when they created the internet, they actually had to type all the websites, create all the web pages, everything. You know
Mm.
this. It wasn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
It took 2 years. You know this,
Mm-hmm.
or you don't know.
No,
Web
I didn't know
developers,
about
it
that.
took. Don't you remember? 10, 15 years ago, people used to, if you had businesses, people used to come around to your companies saying, hey, we'll develop your web pages, this, that. It took a long time.
Mm.
Even all the data input, somebody had to scan all these old books, every single page. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
how long that took? It seemed like doing a photocopier. Yeah,
Yeah.
photocopying 400, 500 pages. Do you know how long these things took? Then you've got to get the coloring right and the brightness of the screen, everything. It cost trillions of dollars to set
Mm.
this up so that
Mm-hmm.
we could learn this history, then to invent this history. And after all this, do you do you think any of this history is true? Then we have this strange opposition, this book called the Quran. And
Mm-hmm.
this book called the Quran telling you, hey guys, wake up, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
And the thing is saying you're not going to win. You're not going to win against this Quran. So the thing is, I am not. talking about the divinity of any religion or anything. I am
Mhm.
pointing out the history of the lie. And I
Mhm.
found it's a lie. The photographs don't make sense. The locations of these people, like Madame Blavatsky and her team, they mysteriously opened 400 lodges within, like, God knows how many years, a few years. In the first 19 years, they did, and the number of members wasn't many. Actually, you have a look at the way the numbers in that Theosophical Society. It was only in the 19th year where they got many members and things like this. Many
Mhm.
other crap. It just goes on. That's when you turn around and think, bullstein, this is just bull. Yes? And then nobody
Mhm.
tells you about it. Yes? That's why I know what's true and what's a lie, because I've been ahead at this game. That I started off from the 19 when the Quran mentioned it. I was very young. Yes, and I was lucky before then. I was studying all these things. So if anybody wants to save time, yeah, my book, Secrets of Kabbalah, yes, goes to the bottom line. But if you don't know the rest of it, yeah, the rest of it is in all the other 20 books. You can read the history. Yes, or yeah, I put them in summaries. Oh, by the way, these books are very big, like A4 size, and they're in big writing so that people in high school, I wrote them like high school textbooks so that people can find it easy to understand. And yeah, I know many people have shared PDFs, but if you to friends, but if you want your friends to know something, yes, what do you call it? Yes, you can actually send them the paper book, yes,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
give it them as like, for example, the fraud in history and other things. But anyway, I warn people to be careful, especially if you want to learn about Islam. It's controversial. There's so many videos online, so many experts, so many whatever. I advise you just to go to the mosque. And many of these people are going to say modern Islam has been invented and all these other things. Yes, it has. Yes, and these are the things, but these people haven't studied the history. And the thing is, my book, the secrets of the Kabbalah. I sent you the picture. Yes,
Yep.
that book shows how they invented. This there was like two or three major phases of inventing modern Islam. This book goes to one of the major phases. That was one of the later stages. Yes, and I'll have to go through the rest of it some other time.
All
Anyway,
right.
any questions before we call it a close?
No, not really. I mean, his history is Bolstein, as you have mentioned, and I am trying to figure out what is the true history of things. And I think this Quran thing is quite fascinating and interesting, and I am definitely interested in taking a look. Although, of course, the 10% or so translation
It's
issue
so
is
big.
a bit of a
That
problem.
it's so big.